Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're doing a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited with you guys because this deck just got some amazing support out of Battle of Chaos, and I've been super excited to do this deck profile ever since this support got announced. We finally got Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, and this deck has gone to all sorts of new levels, and I'm really excited to show you guys this build. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description every single video, getting a signed card to the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron, along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This card is the entire deck, and you've got to play 3 copies of this card. This legendary dragon is a powerful engine of destruction, virtually invincible. Very few have faced this awesome creature and lived to tell the tale. This card is absolutely insane in this deck and is a great card. We then play 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This card is really good because you reveal a Blue Eyes in your hand, special summon this card to your side of the field once per turn, and it also becomes a Blue Eyes White Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard, and once per turn you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy that card, but this card can't attack the turn you activate this effect. It's a really good monster just to special summon out to your side of the field and to search off your Melody of Awakening Dragons. Now the next card I cannot believe they actually made, and I am super excited about it, and it's a single copy of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Yes, they actually turned Kaiba's Jet into a Blue Eyes monster. This card is hands down my favorite Blue Eyes card in the entire game now because of the artwork alone, and it has the ability that other cards you control cannot be destroyed by other card effects, and you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn and can only activate them while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on the field or in the graveyard. If a card on the field is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can special summon this card from the graveyard if it was there, or the hand if it was not in the graveyard. It also has the ability at the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can target a card your opponent controls and return to the hand. This card is a great one of in the deck. You really only need one because you're going to be turboing this card out extremely quickly, and it is a super powerful card. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. This card is a really good card because it has the ability that if this card is special summoned, you can add a ritual spell or a polymerization from your deck to your hand, and then during the end phase you can add a level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand. This card is a great one of in here because it's going to get you all that searches, and basically it's going to get your copy of a Chaos Form and Blue Eyes Chaos Max to your hand all at the same time off of one card. It's a really good card effect just to be able to use this card to get the exact pieces that you need. We then play a single copy of Chaos Dragon Levinair. Chaos Dragon Levinair is a really good card because you can banish 3 cards from your graveyard that are light and dark monsters. If you only banish light for this card summon, you can special summon a monster from the graveyard and defense position. If you only banish dark, you shuffle the card from your opponent's hand into the deck. And if you banish both light and dark, you can destroy 2 cards on the field and it doesn't target. This card is very good because it's searchable off your copy of Melody, and it's a dark level 8 dragon monster that can be used for Xyz plays. We then play 2 copies of Nebula Dragon. Nebula Dragon is here because it has the ability to reveal this card and another level 8 dragon in the hand, and then you can special summon them both in defense position to negate their effects, which is really good to be able to go into Xyz plays. This card is a really good 2 of in the deck. I wouldn't play more than 2, but it's a really nice 2 of in this build. We're then playing 3 copies of the new Dictator of D. This card is a great card, and it is absolutely crazy. This card is basically Magician Souls for Blue Eyes, but they printed it as a super rare, which is so awesome. And it has the ability that while you control a Blue Eyes monster, you can choose the attack targets for your opponent's monsters, and then you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. You can send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field, and you can discard a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a card that mentions it, and then target a Blue Eyes monster in the graveyard and special summon it. This card is a great great 3-of, and you've got to play 3 copies of this card. This card is so good in this deck, and it's also a dark card that you can banish for your copies of your Chaos Dragon Levinair. We then play 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancient. The White Stone of Ancient is a great card because it has the ability to once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. And you can banish this card from the graveyard to target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, and you can only use this effect of White Stone of Legend once per turn, or the White Stone of Ancients once per turn. We then play a single copy of the White Stone of Legend, which has the ability that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, which is a pretty good effect, but you really only need 1 copy of this card. We then play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. This card is a great card for both of its effects because it has the ability that when this card is normal summon, you can add a level 1 Light Tuner from your deck to your hand, except another copy of itself, and you can discard this card and a effect monster that you control or send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Blue Eyes monster from the deck, which is a very good effect. That basically you just discard this, target 1 monster on your side of the field, send it to the grave, and then immediately special summon out a Blue Eyes. That is a really, really good effect. We then play a single copy of Chaos Max. Chaos Max is easy to search in this deck, and I really love playing this card as a 1-of in here. I actually ended up dropping the Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of Armageddon for this card, and it is a really, really good 1-of that's searchable in the deck of your copy of Abyss Dragon, and it's just super easy to summon. All you have to do is banish a card from the graveyard with Chaos form to summon this card, and it does double piercing damage. It also has the ability that your opponent can't target it with card effects, and it can't be destroyed by the opponent's card effects either. This card is an absolutely crazy boss monster to throw out on the field. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really good because it basically stops the opponent from touching the deck. So this card is a great 3-of in the deck. And then we play 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I played 2 copies of Effect Veiler in this deck because you can search it off your copies of Sage. So I really didn't feel like I needed the 3rd copy of this card, but it's a really good card to be able to stop your opponent's monster effects. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Ultimate Fusion. Finally, Blue Eyes gets its own archetype fusion spell, and it's crazy good. It has the ability that during the main phase, you get to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extract that mentions a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as a material by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it from your hand, field, and or graveyard into the deck, and then you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragons and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons used on the field as material. This card is absolutely crazy good because you can use multiple Blue Eyes on your side of the field to get multiple pops, and it's super easy to be able to fusion summon into your copies of your Tyrant Dragon or your Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon to be able to also recycle your Blue Eyes monsters with this card. We then play 3 copies of Trade-In. Trade-In lets us discard any level 8 to be able to draw 2 cards, which is a really good effect for this deck to be able to use, and I really, really love this card as a 3-of. We then play 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon. You discard any card to be able to add 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. This card is a great 3-of in the deck because it's going to search you any of the dragon monsters that you need. And then we play a single copy of Chaos Form. Chaos Form is really good because this card lets us ritual summon out our Blue Eyes Chaos Max by sending to the graveyard a Blue Eyes White Dragon or banishing a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the graveyard, which is a really good effect because you know when you summon Chaos Max, it's usually going to be game. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of True Light. This card is a great card to be able to draw into. I did end up dropping the copies of Bingo Machine Go, but this card is still a great card to be able to top deck because it has the ability that your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects. That's already really good. That makes all your Blue Eyes untargetable. And it's a really good effect. It also has the ability, if this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters that you control. That's not that big of a deal because a lot of our cards are just going to go to the graveyard and we're going to bring them right back to the field. But usually when we activate this card, we just need that one last blue eyes to go in for game. It also has the ability that you destroy all the cards that you control, and you can use one of the following effects this card per turn. You can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard, or set a spell or trap directly from the deck that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text with a different name from the cards that you control and in your graveyard. This is a great 3-of in the deck, and I highly recommend playing at least 2 copies of this card. I really like it as a 3-of though, because it just helps me go in for game with multiple Blue Eyes. We then play 3 copies of Skill Drain as well. The Skill Drains are basically here because you're just going to shut down your opponent's plays, and comboing both of these together is just really good because you're constantly special summoning back Blue Eyes to your side of the field while also making it so your opponent has no monster effects on the field, which is really good because we're just going to keep summoning out really big dragons to our side of the field to go in for game. And this card is a really good control card to activate in this deck to just basically negate all of those monster effects. It's a really good 3-of. So that's it for the trap cards, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're playing a single copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. I am so glad we finally got this card. This card is absolutely amazing and was worth the wait. It has the ability that you have to use a Blue Eyes White Dragon in any dragon monster to summon this card. This card is absolutely generic. With any of the dragons that you put in this card, you can put the White Stone of Ancient, you can put in a White Stone of Legend, you can put another Blue Eyes. This card is so easy to summon, and it has the ability that it must first be either fusion summon or special summon from the extra deck by attributing a Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster, which is never going to happen in this deck, but it can happen with cards like your Tyrant Burst Dragon if you want to play this card in a Critias deck. But it has the ability that it's unaffected by trap cards or effects, which basically makes it so that if you put this card on the field first, Skill Drain doesn't affect it, and neither does the effect of True Light, which is really good. It also has the ability that this card can attack all monsters that your opponent controls once each, and then once per turn, at the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can target a trap card in the graveyard and set it to your spell and trap card zone. So if your opponent does out Skill Drain, you can just put it back on the field, which is really good for this deck to be able to constantly be having a flow of Skill Drain to be able to control the board. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. This card is really good. It takes 3 Blue Eyes to summon this card, and your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects, and then once per turn you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. And if you use an alternative White Dragon to summon this card, you can target 3 cards instead, which is really good, but it can't attack the turn you activate this effect. But it's still a 4,500 attack point monster, so it's a great 1-of in this deck. We then play a single copy of Twin Burst Dragon. Twin Burst Dragon can attack twice, and when it battles a monster, you can banish that card. Can't be destroyed by battle, and it's just a really good card to play as a 2-of in here. You can actually summon it without using polymerization by just using 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons on your side of the field and sending them to the graveyard to summon this card, which is pretty good. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, which just gets better and better, which is really good about this card because neither player can special summon more than 2 monsters at the same time, shutting down pendulum decks, and it also has the ability that once per turn, during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated in the graveyard, you can negate the activation of that card, which is really good because it shuts down Tri-Brigade and Drytron, which is really good if they're summoning one from the graveyard. It also has the ability that during either player's turn, you can tribute this Synchro Summon card, special summon out a light dragon type Synchro monster from your extra deck in Defense Solution, which is going to be a copy of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, which has the ability, if this card is special summoned until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters you currently control with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by card effects. And then once per turn during this time of phase, you can target a normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which just gets us more Blue Eyes on the field. You can summon out Black Rose Moonlight Dragon with your Spirit Dragons effect as well, which is a really good card that basically just deals with level 5 or higher monsters. And then you can actually use this card plus one of your level 1 tuners to go into your copy of Crystal Wing, which is an extremely powerful card to actually go into in this deck, and really amazing that you can actually summon this card We play a single copy of Formula Synchron as well, because you can actually summon this card off of Needle Fiber, and it lets you draw a card and use a Blue Eyes White Dragon to go into a copy of Baron de Fleur, which you can actually summon this deck extremely easily by just going into a Needle Fiber and leaving any level 8 on your side of the field, and then using Formula Synchron plus level 8 to establish a Baron de Fleur to give you a Walking Negate, which is really good, and it can pop a card every single turn. For the OTKs of the deck, we play number 97, which can actually summon out a copy of either number 100 or number 38, using the other one as a material, which is pretty good to either eat spells or summon out a 9,000 attack point monster just to go in for game. For the Link monsters, I'm just playing a single copy of Needle Fiber because I'm using this card to go into the copy of Formula Synchron and give me one of the stone cards on my side of the field, so I can use them to go in for additional Blue Eyes. A single copy of the Hieratic Spheres, which is a really good card in any dragon deck, and a single copy of Link Rebo, so I can link away the stones to be able to get additional plays while also negating attacks with this card. So that's it for the deck, guys. It is absolutely phenomenal. I love this deck. It is really fun to play. I highly recommend that if you guys have not played Blue Eyes, it is the perfect time to pick up Blue Eyes. We just got Tyrant Dragon, which is just absolutely insane. I love this card. It helps out the deck a lot. Jet Dragon is a crazy awesome card, and hilarious that they actually turned Kaiba's Jet into a dragon. That is awesome, and I love it. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.